Unmute yourself, one of you, Shruti, and let me know. I am clearly audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll begin now. See, you can see the central dogma of protein synthesis. That means what? Previously, in the previous lecture, you have learned DNA replication, and I hope everybody has understood and you know the steps. Okay, so what is that? Before I start this point, I will revise a little part of the DNA replication. What happens in DNA replication? Replication is what? The synthesis of new DNA. Replica. Synthesis of replica means its own copy. Okay, so whatever the steps are there involved in the DNA replication, you remember those steps. And if you remember the function of DNA, there are two main functions of DNA. One is considered to be heterocatalytic function and the other is considered as autocatalytic function. Auto means what? Self. When DNA synthesize its own self-replication takes place, that comes under autocatalytic function of DNA. And what is heterocatalytic function? Hetero means other than itself. That means what? Not the DNA replication, but it is involved in the synthesis of proteins or RNA. That means transcription, translation. Then that is what? Other than its own synthesis, right? So this comes under heterocatalytic type of function of DNA. Now we are coming under heterocatalytic function of DNA, where we are going to study the synthesis of protein. So what does it mean, that central dogma of protein synthesis? Protein synthesis is nothing but the synthesis or production of protein, and how it takes place, that is shown in this. This is the rough idea of the steps involved in protein synthesis. So what is the first step? First step is called as transcription and the second step is called as translation. Okay, I'll explain all these steps in detail later, but this is what the rough idea you should have to know about it. Now, as you know that DNA, how it replicates, the DNA is the master of all the things and activities performing in the nucleus, in the cell. Remember, DNA is a master. Now, DNA only decides which type of protein is to be synthesized, in what type of quantity, where, in all these details. Means DNA is the master. So, which decides the type of protein is to be synthesized. So, what is done in the first step? From DNA, this information is transcribed on mRNA in the form of a specific code language. So that's why this is called as transcription. You must have heard this word, transcription. That is nothing but a code language used to receive the information from DNA. So from DNA, this information is received or transferred to mRNA in a code language. This is the first step. And then from mRNA, this information which is in the code language or code form is translated properly to produce synthesis or produce or synthesize the protein. Type of protein which is to be synthesized, so decided by, is always decided by DNA. This is the way or the steps involved in the synthesis of protein. Now, one more thing you can remember here, sometimes what happens, from DNA, RNA is produced. This is the first step, that from RNA again, mRNA again, its original copy of DNA also can be produced. That is what called as reverse transcription. So transcription, when information is carried or transcribed, transferred from DNA to mRNA, that is transcription. And what is reverse transcription? From mRNA again, its original copy of DNA can be produced in the opposite direction that is taking place. So that's called as, it is called as reverse transcription. Okay. Now, where it takes place, you should know, you have learned the cell, in the cell what it contains. Now, another idea this diagram will give you, that is where the DNA replication takes place. DNA replication takes place in the nucleus. This is the nucleus. From DNA, the information is transferred to mRNA by the process of transcription in the nucleus, and then this mRNA is coming out of the nucleus, that means in the cytoplasm through the nuclear pore, where the actual process of protein synthesis takes place. This one more diagram will give you the simple idea that about the central dogma of protein synthesis from DNA to RNA and RNA to protein. Transcription is the first step and translation is the second step. Now, again, this will be more clear when you observe this diagram where this is the cell, entire cell. In the entire cell, this is the nucleus and this is the cytoplasm. In the nucleus, this is the DNA, genetic information in the form of DNA from the double-stranded structure. This is carried to premature mRNA and then it gets converted into mRNA and through the nuclear pore, it comes to the cytoplasm. This is the cytoplasm where ribosomes are considered to be the site of protein synthesis. You know, everybody, last year you have learned that ribosomes are considered to be protein factories. That means what? That is the organelle which is responsible for the synthesis of proteins. And you must have, if you remember the structure of ribosome, that ribosome is made up of two subunits, smaller and the larger one. When it will come, that time again I will explain, but you just remember then when there is a synthesis of mRNA in the nucleus, that mRNA through the nuclear pore, it enters the cytoplasm where the ribosomes are the actual site for the protein synthesis. So first step, transcription takes place in nucleus and the second step, translation takes place in the cytoplasm. This you remember. Now, this diagram will be giving more idea about the transcription first. So what happens in this process? First, roughly I will explain you and in detail then I will explain. What happens? See, in this diagram, you first, because until and unless you have some picture in front of you, you will not understand what explanation is going on. So this is what first I am showing you the diagram. So in detail, I will explain later. Now see, you can see here, this is the double-stranded structure of DNA. When this is the 3' end of the DNA, which acts as the template strand. Template strand means parental strand. Now, if you remember the replication of DNA, you know that the unbinding of the two strands takes place the same way when the enzyme gets attached, that is RNA polymerase gets attached to the parental DNA at 3' end, then this works as the template. Now, this is the template strand. Only one of the strands will act as the template or the parental strand, because everybody knows now RNA is the single-stranded structure and DNA is the double-stranded structure, right? So, out of these two strands, only this strand with the 3' end as free end acts as the template strand, that means parental strand for the synthesis of new RNA. Now, this red colored structure, can you see? This is the mRNA which is produced. So, and always you remember the newly synthesized RNA or DNA, the newly synthesized strand is always in the direction from 5' to 3'. And you can see here the nucleotides are added from the surrounding. That means this is the nucleoplasm area and the complementary nucleotides are getting added to the 5' end. That means to the 3' end of the old, that means parental strand. So this is what the initiation, it starts from 5' end with this is what called as promoter, and where the reaction ends, that is the synthesis of the RNA when it is completed, that is called as terminator end. And these are the nucleotides which are complementary to the original strand, that means the parental strand. Now, one more thing I am going to tell you, you have already studied in the last year, that in case of RNA, instead of thymine, this is replaced by uracil, that nucleotide. And you can see here, when T is there, it will join A. But when it is A, what will be the nucleotide? Complementary nucleotide on RNA, it will be U, uracil. Okay. Now, in the next part, I will tell you all the steps involved in detail now. First, now we are going to start with the first step of the protein synthesis called as transcription, which takes place in the nucleus. Now, what happens in the transcription? During transcription, information of only one strand of DNA is copied into RNA, and this strand of DNA acts as template. Just now I showed you. Enzyme RNA polymerase catalyzes the formation of RNA transcript. Now, what is RNA transcript? I will tell you. Transcript because the information is transcribed in a code language on this RNA. So that's why this is called as RNA transcript. Whatever the RNA molecule is produced, that is called as transcript. Right now we are going to use this word as transcript because the information is in the coded language that is transcribed on mRNA from DNA, that means parental strand. Transcription occurs in the nucleus during G1 and G2 phases of cell cycle. Remember this point. When it takes place? During this transcription occurs in the nucleus, that you know now, when during G1 and G2 phases of cell cycle. If you remember the cell cycle diagram which I learned last year, you will understand G1 S G2. Okay. DNA has promoter and terminator sites. Just now I used the word, but I will show you in the next diagram. DNA has promoter, that means at which end the reaction initiates and the starts. That is what promoter. And where the reaction, that is synthesis of RNA stops, that is called as stop end or the terminator site. Transcription starts at promoter site and stops at terminator site. It involves 3 stages. For example, that means these stages are initiation, elongation and termination. Very simple. How the initiation starts, then how the elongation is taking place, and how the reaction ends, that is termination. Now, what is transcription unit? Each transcribed segment of DNA is called transcription unit. It consists of promoter, the structural gene and a terminator. Just now I explained in the diagram. Now, in a simplest form, I will show you again. Here you can see this purple colored arrow. You can see this is the parental strand. So one of the parental strand which acts, one of the unbinded strand of the DNA acts as the template strand. That means the parental strand where 3' end is free. Parental strand 3' end is free. Okay, because always the newly synthesized strand is from 5' end. So parental strand should be having 3' end. So at this point, the promoter is attached. Okay, then this remaining, all these nucleotides, they are structural genes, they are all, and at the 5' end where the reaction ends, the synthesis of RNA is completed. This is called as terminator point or terminator end. Now, when this promoter is attached to the 3' end, when it will initiate the reaction, until and unless RNA polymerase gets attached to this end, 3' end, that means it will promote, it will initiate the synthesis of new DNA. RNA polymerase, try to understand the word. RNA, because RNA strand is going to be synthesized. Polymerase is what? Polymer. Polymerase is the enzyme. When it ends with ASE, it is always enzyme. And polymer, how this word has come? Poly means many. Monomers, many monomers. What are the monomers here? These are the nucleotides involved in the RNA. So this word is polymerase, enzyme responsible for formation of many nucleotides. That means polynucleotide chains of what? RNA. So the name is RNA polymerase. Remember. So it starts at this end. When RNA polymerase gets attached to the 3' end of the parental strand, that means the template strands. Now, this is what considered as the initiation of the reaction, where the complementary nucleotides from the nucleoplasmic pool, if you remember during the DNA replication, how these nucleotides are activated, the same way here also these are present in the nucleoplasm. These activated nucleotides get attached. So if it is A, U, G like that, then complementary nucleotides on the RNA will be T. If it is U, now here it is, if it is A, T, C like that, accordingly complementary nucleotides will get attached on this, and by the help of hydrogen bonds they will join to each other. So then what will happen? The next nucleotide will add. So addition of all these complementary nucleotide means what? That is the elongation of the polynucleotides. That means polynucleotides chain is formed till when? Till the terminator point, terminator end, when there will be nothing to add. When the synthesis of the RNA is completed, that means the terminator end is reached. When it reaches the terminator end, the RNA synthesis is over, and automatically then it leaves the original DNA, that means parental DNA. The DNA and causes local unwinding of DNA duplex into two chains in the region of the gene. As and when the RNA polymerase gets attached to the 3' end, the unwinding of these two strands takes place. One of the strands act as template, that is also called as antisense strand, and the other strand, which is complementary, that is newly synthesized strand, that is called as coding strand, because the information is transcribed from DNA in a code language, that is called as sense strand. The ribonucleoside triphosphates join to base of DNA template chain. And as the transcription proceeds, the hybrid DNA RNA molecule dissociates and makes RNA mRNA molecule free. Means as there is addition of nucleotides, this will move ahead. This will be released from the parental strand. And so as the transcription proceeds, means as the addition of complementary nucleotides takes place, this hybrid DNA molecule gets dissociated from the parental strand and makes the mRNA molecules free. When mRNA polymerase reaches the terminator signal on the DNA, it leaves DNA and fully formed mRNA is released. Now, when it reaches the terminator point, terminator signal, the entire newly formed mRNA, it gets released from the parental strand and comes out of that DNA, and that then the DNA molecule becomes to its original position. It attains its double helical form. That means it gets spirally coiled. Then, because mRNA which is synthesized is free from the DNA strand, that is the template strand. Okay, now you can see this diagram. See, here is the template strand. Okay, you can see this template strand. This is the 5' end. Now this is the coding strand, which is having the 5' end, and this template strand is called as antisense strand, and you can see the complementary nucleotides here, T, A, C, G, A, T, G, C. These are all complementary nucleotides which are coding strand of DNA, that is called as sense strand. Now, whatever the newly synthesized mRNA is always from 5' to 3' direction. And so, if you observe the change, wherever this is the parental, that means template strand, antisense strand, here it is T, the new strand shows A, complementary nucleotide. When it is C, it will show G. Then when it is A, nucleotide on the template strand, that means antisense strand. Now you can observe the change. Instead of T, what is present here in the newly synthesized strand? That is U. This is the change you always remember. Whenever on the old template strand is T, that is replaced, whenever it is the T, A, it will not add the T nucleotide, but instead it will add the nucleotide as U. So whenever there is A, you can see here U. See here also A, here also in the newly synthesized mRNA, that T is replaced by U, that is the uracil. That's why I'm showing you this diagram. So this is what about the formation of new strand of mRNA, or you can see the primary transcript. Why primary transcript? As I said, that because this information from parental DNA is transcribed in the code language on this RNA. Why this is called mRNA, rRNA, that now you remember now. See, this is also very important to remember. In eukaryotes, there are 3 types of RNA polymerases. As I said you, until and unless the RNA polymerase gets attached to the template strand, the synthesis of new RNA will not take place. Now, what is the role of all these 3 types of RNA polymerases? What are these RNA polymerases? First is called as RNA polymerase 1, which transcribes rRNA. RNA polymerase 2 is responsible for the synthesis or transcription of mRNA, which is called as primary transcript, and heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Let me tell you what is little difference is there. Whatever is transcribed, that is called as primary transcription. Okay, which is produced right now, we were discussing. Now, when this is involved in the synthesis of protein, then it is called as heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Heterogeneous nuclear RNA because it is synthesized in the nucleus or nuclear RNA. Now, RNA polymerase 3 is responsible for the transcription of tRNA and small nuclear RNA. So, this RNA polymerase 3 is responsible for transcription of tRNA. Small nuclear RNA, that is also similar, but only the number of nucleotides is less. So that's why this is called as small, and it is synthesized in nucleus. This is small nuclear RNA. You have to remember these three types: polymerase 1, 2, and 3 in the sequence as RMT. For your remembrance, I am telling you. Polymerase 1, R. Polymerase 2, M, and polymerase 3 will transcribe tRNA. So polymerase 1, 2, 3 as you can remember as RMT. Now everybody has learned the different types of non-genetic RNAs last year. So that is mRNA, which is the simple straight chain of nucleotides with 5' end and 3' end. And the main role, what is mRNA? mRNA means what? Messenger RNA. Messenger means what? It is working as a message. How it is working as a messenger? It is carrying the message from DNA and then it is transferring it to the site of the protein synthesis. This is what the role of mRNA. Then what is the role of rRNA? It is directing mRNA and tRNA to the site where the actual process of protein synthesis is taking place. And what is the role of tRNA? Now you have learned the two models of tRNA, that is hairpin model and the cloverleaf model. Last year you have learned it. So what if you remember, it has two unequal arms. One shorter with 5' end and one the longer one with the unequal arm, which is longer, is 3' end. So this 3' end is called as amino acid acceptor arm. Now in detail, as and when it will come, again I will tell you that time, but you just remember, because all the three types of RNAs are important and they are having the role in the process of protein synthesis. That's why I am mentioning all these three types right now. Now let us discuss about the transcription unit and the gene. So what is gene? The DNA sequence coding for mRNA or tRNA or rRNA is defined as a gene. Remember, what is that? Nothing but the sequence of DNA which codes either mRNA, tRNA or rRNA. Why am I telling you using this terminology? Because these are going to be coming in the next part. That's why you should know all these things. Now, what is cistron? It's a segment of DNA coding for a polypeptide. Now, let me tell you before I go for the polypeptide and all. Poly means what? Many. Peptide means what? This is a type of bond or the link. Where it is used, if you have learned the structure of protein, the chemical structure of protein, the proteins are made up of amino acids. Remember this point. Proteins are made up of amino acids, and these amino acids are linked to each other by a peptide bond or peptide linkage, that is called as. And so such many amino acids are linked together, so many peptide bonds are present, so that is called as polypeptide. Remember. So cistron is what? It's a segment of DNA coding for a polypeptide. Okay. A single structural gene in transcription unit is said to be monocistronic. Now here also mono means single, cistron, that is a segment of DNA. What it codes? Polypeptide. So when a single segment is present, that is called as monocistronic. When many such segments are present on the segment of DNA, long segment of DNA having many such cistrons, that means which are coding for DNA, then that condition is considered to be polycistronic. Okay, this terminology just to remember, because these are going to come in the next part of transcription. So that's why I have explained this part. Now, structural genes in eukaryotes have interrupted non-coding sequences, that means introns, and the coding sequences, that means exons. Now, just if you recollect right now, whichever the diagram I showed you first, okay, at the end again, I'm going to show you the diagram. Now, you have learned up to this that mRNA or the RNA is synthesized on the template strand and it gets dissociated, and then the template strand gets attains its original position. But still that mRNA which is synthesized is in the nucleus. That is called as primary transcript. Why this is called as primary transcript? Because this is still not ready to function for the process of protein synthesis. This is immature mRNA or this is non-functional RNA. But for the functioning and getting ready for the process of protein synthesis, this mRNA is to be processed. Okay. And that processing is done in 3 steps. Now what is, and that's why, let me tell you that this mRNA, which is just produced from the DNA and comes that gets dissociated from that parental DNA, which is called as primary transcript. This is also called as immature RNA, or this is also called as non-functional RNA, which contains non-coding sequences as well as coding sequences. All the nucleotides which are present on this immature RNA, that is the primary transcript, it shows some non-coding sequences of nucleotides which are called as introns and coding sequences of nucleotides which are called exons. Now you can understand, only coding sequences are useful in the process of protein synthesis. We don't want non-coding sequences. So this immature or non-functional mRNA is to be processed. And this processing takes place in 3 steps. First, as I told you right now, that this non-coding part or the non-coding sequences called as introns are to be removed. Then only it will be functional DNA, right? So in eukaryotes, forms of RNA transcribed from DNA are called primary transcripts. Such transcripts undergo changes called processing or maturation before becoming functional. Primary transcript is non-functional and contains both exons and introns. During processing, only introns are removed by the process called splicing. Now, understand. So, what is the first step? I have labeled it as number 1. This is what? That's why I have labeled as number 1. This is the splicing. Okay, splicing is the first step. Now, what happens in splicing? These introns, that is non-coding sequences, are removed with the help of specific type of proteins and enzymes. That is, these are called as spliceosomes. And with the help of spliceosomes, they are removed. And whatever remains is now only exons. And all these exons, after removing these non-coding sequences, that means introns, they are joined to each other in a definite way, sequence order, with the help of enzyme called as ligase. So always remember, ligase is the enzyme which joins. Ligase means to join. So all these exons, these sequences are joined to each other. That means all these coding sequences are joined by the enzyme called as ligase. Now, heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Now, while you are using this immature now, the next step is what? Now it is heterogeneous. While I'm using the word heterogeneous nuclear RNA, it is the same one. But as heterogeneous nuclear RNA present in the nucleus, produced in the nucleus, so nuclear, and it is involved in the synthesis of protein, so it is a heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Now it undergoes under 2 more steps. One is called as capping and the second is called as tailing. Now everybody knows cap, where it is used? On the head. So what is the head of this strand of RNA? That is the 5' end, where it starts synthesizing. So 5' end is its head, or that is the site for capping, and the end is what? 3' end. That is what? The tail part. Okay. So, but what happens in the capping? What is done in the capping? Means at 5' end, what is done? Methylated guanosine triphosphate is added to 5' end of this HN. HN is the abbreviation of heterogeneous nuclear RNA. Okay. So HN RNA. So at the head region, that means at the 5' end of mRNA, 5' end is what? 3' end. 3' end is what? 3' end is the tail part. Okay. So at the head region, that means at the 5' end of mRNA, methylated guanosine triphosphate is added, and this is called as capping. Now what is tailing? Tail part is what? 3' end. So what is done at 3' end? Polyadenylation. Poly means many. Adenylation means addition of adenine nucleotide. That is what adenylation. So many adenine nucleotides are added at 5' end, and that is what called as polyadenylation. And where it is taking place? At 3' end. And so this is called as tailing. So what are these 3 steps? I'll repeat now. First is splicing. So introns, that means non-coding regions, are removed with the help of specific type of proteins. Lysosomes, they are called as. Second step is called as capping, which takes place at 5' end by the addition of methylated guanosine triphosphate. Tailing, third step, where many adenine nucleotides are added at the 3' end. That is polyadenylation, and that is called as tailing. Now, this fully processed hnRNA is called as mRNA, which is now called as mature RNA or functional RNA. Now this mRNA, which is produced after the processing of all the 3 steps, is ready to enter the cytoplasm, where the site of protein synthesis is there. So for translation, mRNA is transported out of the nucleus through nuclear pore. Okay. Now this is the, I'll tell you now, this is the diagram where I will explain you this diagram first now. See, this is the, now I hope you can see the arrow. Okay. See, this is the blue color strand and this is the red color strand of DNA. The entire process of transcription I am repeating with the help of this diagram. Okay, so very carefully you listen. This is there in your textbook also. Try to understand what I am explaining. Now, as I said, the first step in the transcription is what? The synthesis of new strand, that is the coding strand, where it takes place at the 3' free end of the parental DNA. Now, this is the entire structure of DNA. Okay. At a particular point on the 3' end of the template DNA, when RNA polymerase gets attached, there the synthesis of new strand takes place. Okay. So this where until and unless RNA polymerase gets attached to the 3' end, the these 2 strands will not be unwinded. So temporary unwinding of these 2 strands of DNA takes place. Then out of these 2 strands, only one strand acts as the template strand. So this is now template strand or the parental strand with the 3' end here, and the newly synthesized RNA, it always will be from 5' end. So here the complementary nucleotides from the nucleoplasmic pools will be added, and these nucleotides will join here these to the complementary strands, and these nucleotides, after as and when there is addition of these nucleotides, complementary nucleotides, this RNA automatically will release from the parental strand and will start releasing and till the termination point. So this is the promoter region where the actual synthesis, that means the initiation of the reaction of the RNA, initiation of the synthesis of RNA polymerase takes place. Then the second part, that is the second stage as elongation, the complementary nucleotides are added to this region till the terminator point, and as and when the nucleotides get attached and there is a synthesis of new strand, it gets dissociated from this parental, that means this template strand, and it comes out. Now after it reaches the terminator point on this region of template strand, the entire process of synthesis of RNA is completed, and again these 2 unwinded strands of DNA will attain its original position, that is they will be coiled, helically coiled to each other. Now this newly synthesized strand, now here you can see the 2 different colors also. This is yellow color, this is little bit dark color. Now if you see here, these are the coding and non-coding sequences present on this RNA which is synthesized. So this is what called as primary transcript. Okay, this is the primary transcript. Whichever is synthesized right now from the template DNA as it is, which shows the presence of some coding regions and some non-coding regions. So these are the coding regions, these are the non-coding regions. Now they are labeled as coding regions as exons and non-coding regions as introns. So this is the primary transcript. Now to get ready for the process, further process of protein synthesis, now up to this is just transcription. This is just the whatever the information is present, which is useful or not useful, that is what just called as primary transcript. And now this primary transcript is needed to be processed for getting ready to the next step of protein synthesis, that is translation. Now, so first step is what? Splicing, as I told you. Splicing means what? These non-coding regions on this primary transcripts are to be removed. So these non-coding regions called as introns are removed with the help of specific protein spliceosomes like this. These are the spliceosomes. You can see the rounded structures here, because with the help of this spliceosomes, these introns are removed. So this is what the first step called as splicing. When introns are removed, whatever the gaps are present or these only exons they remain, these are joined to each other by the enzyme ligase. Now, so the entire structure of RNA is what now called as, that shows only coding sequences, non-coding regions are removed by splicing, first step. Now, what is the second step now? Second step is called as capping. Capping means what? This is what cap, that means the head region where addition of methylated guanosine triphosphate. Can you see here? M is for methylated, G is guanosine, like ATP. ATP is what? Adenosine triphosphate. So GTP is what? Guanosine triphosphate. Here, guanosine triphosphate. Tri is what? 3 phosphates. So phosphate groups are added to this, which are methylated. So methylated guanosine triphosphate gets attached to the 5' end of this mRNA. This is called as capping. And if you see here at the 3' end, this is the poly A tail. Poly means many. A is what? Adenine nucleotide. So many adenine nucleotides are added to the 3' end, forming a tail-like structure. So this is called as polyadenylation, and which takes place at 3' end. And this is what called as tailing. So splicing, capping, and tailing. Now this RNA which is produced is called as mRNA, that is messenger RNA, which has the message in the form of code language taken from the DNA. So the stuff which is not required is removed by this different steps involved in this splicing, capping, heading, and all. All the processing is done on this mRNA. Now this RNA is ready to function. Now it is ready for the next step of protein synthesis, and that is what called as translation. Now its role is over now here. Its role is over. How? Now still it is present in the nucleus. Now from the nuclear pore, in the second diagram I showed you. Now from the nuclear pore, it will come out of the nuclear pore in the cytoplasm. From the nuclear pore, it will come out of the nucleus. It will come to the cytoplasm and reach the actual site of protein synthesis. What is the actual site of protein synthesis? The actual site of protein synthesis is ribosomes, right? Ribosomes. Now, I will not explain you the further part immediately, because we need to we have to revise last 10 minutes if you have any doubts, because the next part of translation, it takes lot of time. So until and unless you understand this part, we will not go ahead. So right now I will stop my recording, as well as I will stop my presentation,